Harry, did you see episode 5 of Into the Badlands?
You're talking about...
What's Quinn's gonna do? No. We have to talk about how the whole thing with Jade
we can
happened
discuss
and Lydia.
all
Oh my god,
that.
like, don't you understand? Like, this is so crazy. Like, this whole Quinn thing with Lydia and Jade.
We have,
and then,
you know,
and
the
then
show
MK,
that we
and then
do
Sunny.
that...
This episode is like
where we
blowing
do
my
all
mind
this.
because I don't know how to handle it.
We have to go...
And I don't really understand what her motives are. And then I'm kind of like, oh, and then Jacoby never shows up. And
Jen.
then it's like, Into the Badlands.
Welcome to episode 5 of Let's Go Into the Badlands. I am Harry Trong.
And I'm Jen Ju.
And this is the show where we speculate and predict everything about Into the Badlands. Last week, one of our users, Ray, #1 fan.
Yay, Ray!
He predicted that Vale would help Quinn and that she would later regret it. And in this episode, Vale does help Quinn. She has a chance to kill him, and Quinn even, provokes her into it.
Yeah, he, totally tests her, and she's like,
I'm too good of a person.
and he's like, it's your nature, and that's my nature. Dun, dun, dun. Thank you for participating!
You were participating. If you were here, you would get a mark, but you were not, so you will get an imaginary mark.
So, our predictions. This week's episode was all kinds of crazy, but I predicted last week that MK's gonna start learning how to control his powers. Half right,
I actually say you're right, because he throws like a fireball, and then he kind of turns it off. He turns off his little darkness superpower thing, and he doesn't hurt anyone that he didn't mean to hurt. So I would say he's definitely learning how. So I would give you the full mark.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Harry. I am kicking your butt.
You are. It's not about winning. My prediction was that MK would get kidnapped. I was wrong. Tilda actually got kidnapped by Sunny. They were in the forest. She was poking around, trying to warn MK, and then Sunny snuck up behind her. Then they had to kidnap her. Bring her back into Camp Quinn.
I don't think that at any point Sunny was ever going to hurt Tilda, even though it seemed like... I feel like he was almost going to capture her and protect her.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't going to let Quinn hurt
There
her.
were some people that weren't a part of the Azra plan around, and so he had to kind of cover up and act like I'm gonna torture you. Our second prediction, my twist prediction, was that Tilda was going to choose MK over the Widow.
And I actually had the kind of similar... We basically predicted the same thing last week.
It kind of happened, but not really. Tilda went against her mom's wishes and tried to help MK, but she didn't explicitly rebel and choose. Yeah,
this whole Tilda choosing Widow or MK, and then this whole Tilda is the only person that makes MK feel safe kind of storyline. It's kind of weird to me. And then I'm like, you guys are a little young for that. I don't know how I feel.
They're 15-ish.
I guess there's
it'd
young
be
love.
the first love, and it's a pretty dark place, so I'm sure the options are limited. Used to happen all the time in biblical times, I think.
Do we get a mark for that one?
I can't give myself a mark because it's only
if Harry doesn't get a mark, then I don't get a mark.
Mark
of death. I picked Jacoby, who didn't even show up in this episode.
I didn't get in this episode.
No Jacoby. Can't just throw on Jacoby like last episode.
I predicted that Waldo, or I'm sorry, I predicted that the River King, I predicted that the River King was going to die. And the River King wasn't even in this episode either. But we did confirm something. Last week I thought Waldo was dead.
We found Waldo.
We found Waldo, alive and well, taking care of birds.
We have no idea how he escaped.
I don't know how they avoided him. Maybe they have a thing for not killing people in wheelchairs, which is a good thing to have. Either way, he escaped. He's fine, taking care of birds.
And then Ryder comes to him, and so this is the scene I wanted to talk to you about earlier, because it combined two of our favorite moments. We find Waldo, right? That's super exciting. And then the other thing is that Waldo makes a comment about Ryder's 2 toes. And I'm just cracking up. Because I'm like, yay, Waldo! Oh my god, Ryder has 2 toes, and Waldo knows that Ryder has 2 toes. Apparently Waldo was the one who saved Ryder. Should we go into our predictions for next week? So I think, because Quinn said something to Vale about the whole situation of how her parents died, Vale's gonna not want to run away. I think she's gonna be mad at Sunny, and then this thwarts their plans of getting out of the Badlands. Hence, keeping them in the Badlands for another season. Hence, more stories and more seasons and more episodes.
So my prediction is MK has got some explaining to do, because basically he outed himself. There was a big, awesome fight between Sunny and the Widow, or in the dungeons, and MK cuts himself because Tilda is in danger. In that moment, MK kills somebody. The Widow sees that he is actually the special person. And then at the very end, we see Quinn lurking in the shadows, who saw the whole thing too. So now Quinn and the Widow know that MK has powers. So my prediction is that MK is gonna be a little test guinea pig next episode. There's gonna be a lot of like poking and prodding, or someone, they're gonna be like, hey, we gotta see what this kid's about now, because it's no more hiding in the shadows.
So the twist, at the end of this episode 5, Jade is like foaming at the mouth, and I think she gets poisoned.
Yeah.
So I think the easy way to look at it would be like, oh, Lydia poisoned her. She's only faking liking Jade and wanting to form that connection. But because it's the plot twist prediction, I'm gonna say that Ryder poisoned her.
Oh.
Because he's pissed, because she's all like, we can't do this anymore. And then, you know, he's like all out crazy. I don't care about anything. So I think Ryder might have poisoned Jade.
That I had a similar prediction. I didn't think Lydia poisoned Jade. I actually think Jade poisoned herself.
Oh. And blame it on Lydia.
Because we see her. Yeah, we see her foaming at. We see her foaming at the mouth. But then again, no body, and you need a body, like we learned last week. Waldo is still alive. We need confirmation that they're dead. I don't think she's dead.
I don't think she's dead. That's a really good one. Because Jade at this point is like on her way to taking over the Badlands. If Quinn dies, I think she wants to succeed because she's got some...
Jade's making moves too.
You're pretty. I get it. Yeah. I get it. Mark of Death.
Mark of Death. I'm going to go with... I think in the next episode there's going to be more of a battle between the Barons again. I'm gonna go with Zephyr, who is the Clipper regent to Jacobi.
I'm gonna stick with Jacobi because I think we talked about Zephyr taking over last time, and plus we see that Zephyr's working with Widow and Ryder, so she might off Jacobi so she can take over.
Those are our predictions. Watch next week's episode, the grand finale, and make your own predictions. Comment, and then we'll discuss them next week.
We'll go back. Wait.
Join us next week when we go
into the Badlands.